How Children Succeed, Unlocking Character for a Lifetime of Success. Ever wondered what truly determines a child's success? Is it intelligence, grades, or something deeper? Discover the powerful role character, perseverance, and environment play in shaping your child's future. Welcome to Media Deem, where we dive into the secrets of child development and success. In today's audiobook, How Children Succeed by Paul Tough, we explore groundbreaking insights that challenge traditional views of intelligence and education. Learn how character development, emotional resilience, and a nurturing environment can set your child on the path to lasting success, both in school and life. Summary of focus points. The importance of developing grit and self-control in children. How a child's environment impacts their emotional well-being and academic performance. Why success depends on more than just IQ. Emotional intelligence and resilience matter too. Strategies for encouraging perseverance and problem-solving from an early age. How children learn and grow from failure, and why it's essential to their future achievements. What you'll learn. How to build emotional resilience in your child. Effective strategies for nurturing perseverance and focus. The key role of the environment in shaping a child's character. Why encouraging independent problem-solving fosters lasting success. The importance of balancing care and challenge to help your child grow. Focus point 1. The importance of developing grit and self-control in children. Grit and self-control are two key qualities that help children navigate the challenges of life with resilience and persistence. Research shows that while intelligence is important, it is character traits like determination and the ability to delay gratification that ultimately shape long-term success. Paul Tough argues that developing grit, the ability to push through challenges and persist in the face of failure, is more predictive of success than high IQ or academic achievement. In fact, psychologist Angela Duckworth, one of the leading researchers on grit, describes it as passion and perseverance for long-term goals. This means that children who are able to stay focused on their objectives, even when the going gets tough, tend to achieve more in school and in life. A well-known study called the Marshmallow Test by psychologist Walter Mischel illustrates the power of self-control. In this experiment, young children were given a choice. They could have one marshmallow immediately, or wait 15 minutes and receive 2 marshmallows. The children who were able to wait showed better life outcomes decades later, including higher academic achievement, better health, and more stable relationships. This study highlights the crucial role of delayed gratification, a core element of self-control, in future success. Grit and self-control are not innate traits but can be cultivated. Parents and educators play a vital role in nurturing these qualities. For instance, when children are encouraged to set long-term goals and to keep trying despite setbacks, they learn perseverance. This also aligns with Carol Dweck's growth mindset theory, which teaches that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. Encouraging children to view failure as a learning experience, rather than a reflection of their abilities, fosters grit and resilience. Beyond the classroom, grit and self-control also help children in social interactions. A child who can manage their emotions and delay impulsive actions is more likely to develop positive relationships. Aristotle once said, "Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet," emphasizing the value of self-discipline. Developing these traits not only prepares children for academic success, but also helps them navigate life's broader challenges. Psychologist Roy Baumeister further explains the importance of self-control in his book Willpower, Rediscovering the Greatest Human Strength, where he argues that willpower and self-control act as limited resources. Just like a muscle, they can be strengthened with practice. This idea suggests that by regularly encouraging children to practice self-discipline, whether in completing homework, managing their emotions, or setting goals, they can build their capacity for self-control over time. Recommendations. Encourage children to set long-term goals and celebrate small victories along the way to build grit. Teach children to view failure as a stepping stone to success, reinforcing a growth mindset. Help children develop the ability to delay gratification through small exercises like saving money for a desired toy or waiting for a treat. Model self-control and persistence in your own behavior, as children often learn through observation. Use positive reinforcement to encourage perseverance, such as praising effort rather than just results. By focusing on these areas, parents and educators can help children cultivate the essential qualities of grit and self-control, equipping them to face challenges head-on and ultimately thrive in life. Focus point 2. How a child's environment impacts their emotional well-being and academic performance. A child's environment is one of the most powerful influences on their development, affecting both emotional well-being and academic performance. This influence extends beyond the physical surroundings to include the emotional climate of the home, the relationships with caregivers, and the socioeconomic conditions in which they grow up. The importance of the environment in shaping a child's cognitive and emotional development has been extensively studied, demonstrating that nurturing and supportive surroundings are critical for long-term success. The concept of environmental influence is strongly backed by Urie Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory, which explains how different layers of a child's environment interact to affect their development. At the core of this theory is the microsystem, the immediate surroundings that include family, school, and peer groups. The quality of these relationships directly impacts a child's emotional regulation and ability to perform academically. For example, children raised in loving, stable households tend to have higher self-esteem and greater resilience in the face of challenges, both academically and socially. In contrast, those from unstable or neglectful environments often struggle with emotional regulation and academic performance. A well-known study known as the Adverse Childhood Experiences (ACE) study highlights the long-term effects of a negative environment. The study found that children who experienced high levels of trauma, such as neglect, abuse, or living in poverty, were more likely to suffer from poor health, low academic achievement, and difficulties forming relationships later in life. The stress caused by these adverse experiences alters brain development, particularly affecting the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for decision-making and self-regulation. However, even within challenging environments, children can still succeed if they have strong emotional support. Research has shown that the presence of a secure attachment with a primary caregiver can act as a buffer against environmental stress. British psychologist John Bowlby, who developed attachment theory, argued that a child's bond with their caregiver forms the foundation for emotional security. A child who feels loved and supported is more likely to explore the world with confidence, deal with setbacks effectively, and perform better in school. James Heckman, a Nobel Prize-winning economist, has explored how early childhood environments, particularly those that provide emotional and cognitive stimulation, have a profound impact on long-term outcomes. Heckman's research shows that children who grow up in enriched environments that stimulate cognitive and social skills are more likely to succeed academically and economically. He notes that skills beget skills, meaning that early positive experiences compound, building a strong foundation for future learning and emotional well-being. A healthy environment fosters not only academic success, but emotional resilience. Children who grow up in emotionally supportive environments are more likely to develop high emotional intelligence, a trait that has been linked to success in both personal and professional spheres. Emotional intelligence, as defined by psychologist Daniel Goleman, includes the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions, as well as the ability to empathize with others. Goleman's work demonstrates that emotional intelligence is a key predictor of success, often more so than IQ. On the other hand, children exposed to negative environments, such as those marked by conflict, neglect, or instability, are more likely to develop chronic stress. This stress activates the body's fight-or-flight response, releasing high levels of cortisol, a hormone that can impair cognitive function and hinder emotional regulation. Over time, prolonged exposure to stress weakens a child's ability to focus, leading to lower academic performance and an increased likelihood of behavioral problems in school. A balanced and nurturing environment is crucial for the development of key life skills such as self-control, perseverance, and problem-solving. For example, a child raised in a household where curiosity and learning are encouraged is more likely to develop a love for education. Similarly, a supportive environment helps children navigate the emotional ups and downs of school life, such as dealing with failure or peer pressure. Recommendations: ensure children grow up in emotionally supportive environments by fostering strong, positive relationships with caregivers. Encourage open communication, where children feel safe expressing their emotions and concerns. Create a home environment that stimulates cognitive development through reading, play, and intellectual conversations. Limit exposure to stressors such as conflict or instability, and work to resolve family issues in a healthy, constructive manner. Provide children with routines and a sense of security to promote emotional stability and focus in school. By cultivating a nurturing environment, parents and educators can significantly improve a child's emotional health and academic potential, providing them with the foundation for a balanced and successful life. Focus point 3. Children who are far behind in school often act out. Children who fall behind in school academically frequently exhibit disruptive behavior. This connection between academic struggles and behavioral issues stems from several psychological and social factors that interact to create a negative feedback loop. When children find themselves unable to keep up with their peers academically, they often experience feelings of frustration, shame, and inadequacy. These emotions can manifest outwardly as aggression, defiance, or disengagement, as the child may feel the need to protect themselves from the negative emotions associated with failure. The behavior of acting out in school is often a form of emotional self-defense. When a child is behind academically, they may avoid further embarrassment or ridicule by disrupting class or diverting attention from their struggles. According to psychologist Jean Piaget's cognitive development theory, children are active learners who seek to make sense of the world. When they encounter difficulties in understanding concepts in school, they may experience cognitive dissonance, the tension between what they understand and what they are expected to know. Unable to bridge this gap, children may resort to behavior that distracts from their academic shortcomings. Research shows that children who are behind in reading or math by third grade are particularly vulnerable to developing behavioral problems. The Early Warning Systems report, developed by the Annie E. Casey Foundation, highlights that students who are not proficient in reading by the end of third grade are 4 times more likely to drop out of high school. This academic struggle often leads to low self-esteem, making it difficult for children to form positive relationships with teachers and peers. The lack of academic success fosters a sense of alienation, which can escalate into aggressive or withdrawn behavior. In studies of school environments, children who struggle academically are often labeled as problem students, a label that can reinforce their negative self-image and lead to further behavioral issues. The theory of labeling in sociology, developed by Howard Becker, explains how being labeled as deviant can lead individuals to embrace that role. For children, once they are labeled as troublemakers, they may internalize that identity and continue to act out, even if the root cause is their academic difficulties. This is particularly common in schools that emphasize discipline over understanding the underlying causes of disruptive behavior. Social-emotional factors also play a significant role. Children who are far behind in school often feel disconnected from their peers, which can exacerbate feelings of isolation. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, belonging and self-esteem are fundamental to human motivation. When children fall behind academically, they may feel a sense of exclusion from the group, as their peers advance while they remain stuck. This social isolation can lead to frustration, and in some cases, children may lash out as a way to reassert control or gain attention. In addition, research from self-determination theory, developed by Edward Deci and Richard Ryan, indicates that autonomy, competence, and relatedness are key to motivation and engagement in learning. When children are not meeting academic benchmarks, they feel less competent and may lose motivation to try, leading to disengagement or disruptive behavior. If they perceive that their efforts will not result in success, they may stop trying altogether, acting out instead of continuing to struggle with tasks they believe they cannot achieve. Behavioral issues among children who are behind in school are also influenced by stress. The stress of consistently poor academic performance activates the body's fight-or-flight response, releasing cortisol, the stress hormone, which can impair cognitive function and emotional regulation. Over time, The chronic stress of being behind in school can lead to behaviors that reflect the child's struggle to cope. This could mean lashing out at teachers or peers, or it could result in withdrawal and a refusal to engage in schoolwork. In addressing the issue of children acting out due to academic struggles, schools need to focus not only on academic support, but also on emotional and psychological support. Teachers and school staff must recognize that disruptive behavior is often a symptom of deeper issues related to learning difficulties, and should approach such behavior with empathy rather than punishment. Behavioral interventions that focus on developing social-emotional skills and building a child's sense of competence can be particularly effective. Recommendations: provide individualized academic support to children who are struggling to prevent them from falling further behind. Foster a positive and inclusive classroom environment where children feel safe to express their frustrations without acting out. Implement social-emotional learning programs to help children develop emotional regulation and resilience. Avoid labeling children based on their behavior. Instead, focus on the root causes of the behavioral issues, such as academic difficulties. Encourage parental involvement in academic support to reinforce learning at home and provide a stable, supportive environment for the child. Offer professional counseling or psychological support for children dealing with chronic stress related to academic performance. By understanding the emotional and psychological factors behind disruptive behavior, educators and caregivers can take steps to address the root causes, helping children overcome academic challenges and develop healthy coping strategies. Focus point 4. Children respond better to reward than punishment. Children's behavior is strongly influenced by the type of feedback they receive from adults, especially in a learning environment. Research has shown that children are more likely to change or maintain positive behavior when they are rewarded rather than punished. This principle is rooted in behaviorist theory, particularly B.F. Skinner's concept of operant conditioning. According to Skinner, behavior is shaped by reinforcement. Positive reinforcement, such as rewards, increases the likelihood that a behavior will be repeated, while punishment tends to suppress behavior but does not necessarily lead to learning or long-term behavioral change. When a child receives a reward for completing a task or behaving appropriately, the brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. This neurological response reinforces the positive behavior, making the child more likely to repeat it. In contrast, punishment often triggers negative emotions like fear, anxiety, and resentment. While punishment may stop undesirable behavior temporarily, it can undermine a child's intrinsic motivation and may lead to long-term psychological effects such as low self-esteem and defiance. Children who are punished frequently may focus more on avoiding the negative consequences than understanding why their behavior was wrong. The positive reinforcement model emphasizes the power of rewards in promoting desirable behavior. Studies have demonstrated that children who are consistently rewarded for good behavior or academic achievement develop a more positive attitude toward learning and are more likely to exhibit prosocial behavior. These rewards do not have to be material. Verbal praise, recognition, and encouragement can be just as effective. For instance, when a teacher praises a student for completing their homework on time, the child not only feels a sense of accomplishment, but also internalizes the message that their efforts are valued. This approach aligns with Albert Bandura's social learning theory, which suggests that children learn behaviors through observation, imitation, and reinforcement. When children see that positive actions are rewarded, they are more likely to adopt those behaviors themselves. Conversely, punishment can create a cycle of negative behavior. A child who is frequently punished may start to associate learning environments or authority figures with negative feelings. The use of punishment, especially physical or verbal reprimands, can provoke fear rather than understanding. According to self-determination theory, Deci and Ryan, children need to feel a sense of autonomy, competence, and relatedness to stay motivated and engaged. Punishment undermines these psychological needs, especially autonomy, as it forces compliance through external control rather than encouraging children to understand and internalize rules. When punished, children often fail to reflect on the consequences of their actions or learn how to behave differently. Instead, they may become more rebellious or deceptive, trying to avoid detection rather than correcting their behavior. Rewards, on the other hand, offer a way to shape behavior in a positive, constructive manner. The Premack principle suggests that more probable behaviors, those the child enjoys, can be used to reinforce less probable behaviors, those the child may resist. For instance, a child who enjoys playing outside might be encouraged to complete their homework with the promise of extra playtime afterward. This type of reward creates a positive association with the task they would otherwise avoid. While some critics argue that excessive rewards can lead to dependence on external validation, research indicates that well-designed reward systems can foster intrinsic motivation. The key is to gradually shift from tangible rewards to intrinsic rewards, such as the satisfaction of completing a challenging task or the pride of mastering a new skill. Carol Dweck's mindset theory offers insights here, emphasizing the importance of fostering a growth mindset. Dweck found that children who are praised for their effort, rather than for their intelligence, develop a love for learning and a resilience in the face of challenges. When rewards focus on effort and progress, children begin to value the learning process itself, rather than the reward. Furthermore, behavioral research by Alfie Kohn suggests that punishment, especially when overused, can have adverse long-term effects on children's development. Kohn argues that punishment teaches children to be good only when someone is watching and fails to instill internal discipline or moral reasoning. He points out that when children are punished, they may not understand the deeper reasons behind why their behavior was wrong, which prevents meaningful growth. In contrast, when they are rewarded or praised for positive behavior, they are more likely to internalize those values and practice them independently. Research into positive behavior interventions and supports (PBIS) shows that schools that implement reward-based systems see a reduction in negative behaviors and an improvement in overall school climate. Children thrive in environments where their positive contributions are recognized and valued, and this leads to a virtuous cycle where good behavior begets more good behavior. Recommendations: use positive reinforcement such as praise, encouragement, or recognition to promote desired behaviors and create a motivating environment for learning. Gradually shift from tangible rewards to intrinsic rewards that encourage children to take pride in their own achievements and effort. Avoid over-reliance on punishment, especially punitive measures that provoke fear or resentment, and focus on strategies that foster understanding and self-discipline. Implement a balanced reward system in schools to promote positive behaviors and reduce negative ones, while building a positive school culture. Encourage effort-based praise to help children develop a growth mindset, fostering resilience and a love of learning. By focusing on rewards rather than punishment, educators and parents can cultivate environments where children are motivated to learn, behave appropriately, and develop the skills and values necessary for long-term success. Focus Point 5: Role of educational games in the classroom. Educational games play a transformative role in modern classrooms by making learning more engaging and effective. These games are not merely a means of entertainment. They are tools that tap into children's natural instincts to play, explore, and interact with their surroundings. The key concept behind educational games is their ability to turn abstract or challenging academic content into accessible, hands-on experiences. This aligns with the constructivist theory, which argues that learners actively build their own understanding based on their experiences. Educational games provide these experiences in a structured, yet flexible manner. Research in educational psychology shows that games foster deep learning because they require students to apply concepts in meaningful contexts. Jean Piaget, one of the foremost figures in cognitive development, posited that children learn best when they are actively involved in the learning process. Games, especially those that challenge students to solve problems, make decisions, and strategize, offer precisely this kind of active engagement. A math game, for example, might involve using arithmetic to navigate a virtual world, where correct answers allow students to advance. In this way, students learn not only how to compute, but also why those computations matter within a broader framework. The interactive nature of games also provides instant feedback, a crucial component in learning. According to behaviorist theory, immediate feedback helps reinforce learning. When students receive quick responses to their actions in a game, they can adjust their approach in real time, which enhances their understanding. This form of learning through trial and error encourages persistence, as students often feel motivated to try again after receiving corrective feedback. In traditional learning, delayed feedback can sometimes discourage students or create gaps in understanding, but games bridge this gap effectively. Moreover, educational games provide a safe space for experimentation. In classrooms, children may fear making mistakes in front of their peers or teacher, which can inhibit learning. Games, however, offer a non-judgmental environment where failure is an expected part of the process. This mirrors Carol Dweck's theory of the growth mindset, which emphasizes that students who view challenges and mistakes as opportunities for growth are more resilient learners. Through games, students can repeatedly practice difficult concepts without the pressure of immediate success, promoting a deeper, more resilient form of learning. A critical aspect of educational games is that they cater to diverse learning styles. Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences suggests that individuals have different types of intelligences, such as linguistic, logical mathematical, spatial, or kinesthetic. Educational games can be designed to engage various types of intelligence, allowing for a more personalized learning experience. For example, word games can strengthen linguistic intelligence, while puzzle games can develop logical reasoning. This diversity in approach ensures that no child is left behind, as each can engage with content in a way that resonates with their innate strengths. Educational games also encourage collaboration and social learning. Vygotsky's social development theory underscores the importance of interaction with peers in cognitive development. Many educational games are designed as group activities, encouraging students to work together toward common goals. This collaborative nature enhances learning, as students exchange ideas, challenge each other, and build social skills. Cooperative games, where teams solve problems or compete in academic challenges, foster a sense of community and collective achievement. In doing so, they prepare students not only academically, but also socially, equipping them with skills that are vital in real-world situations. Another significant benefit of educational games is their ability to hold students' attention. In an era of constant digital stimulation, traditional teaching methods often struggle to compete with students' shortened attention spans. Games, with their dynamic and interactive elements, naturally attract and retain attention. Flow theory, proposed by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, explains how games engage students in a state of flow, where they are fully immersed in an activity. In this state, students lose track of time and remain deeply focused, leading to enhanced learning outcomes. The immediate goals, clear challenges, and regular feedback provided by games align perfectly with the conditions necessary for flow, making them ideal tools for maintaining concentration in the classroom. Despite these advantages, the integration of games in the classroom requires careful planning. Not all games are created equally, and the use of purely recreational games may distract from learning goals. To be effective, educational games should align with curriculum objectives, be age-appropriate, and be used as part of a broader instructional strategy. Studies have shown that the most successful educational games are those that strike a balance between fun and learning. For instance, a science game that allows students to simulate an ecosystem teaches critical concepts about biology while still engaging them in enjoyable gameplay. Furthermore, educational games should encourage critical thinking, creativity, and problem-solving, rather than rote memorization. Games that emphasize exploration, strategy, and decision-making allow students to engage in higher-order thinking. For example, a history simulation game that puts students in the role of historical figures allows them to explore the complexities of historical events, decisions, and consequences. This encourages not only content knowledge but also empathy and a deeper understanding of cause-and-effect relationships. The use of educational games also aligns with the flipped classroom model, where traditional lectures are minimized and active, participatory learning is emphasized. In this model, students can play educational games at home to reinforce concepts learned in class. This allows teachers to spend classroom time on discussions, projects, and personalized support. In fact, many educators report that using educational games helps foster a more engaging and interactive learning environment, where students are more excited and eager to participate. Recommendations: select educational games that align with curriculum objectives and reinforce key concepts while maintaining engagement. Utilize games to provide instant feedback, fostering an environment of learning through trial and error. Use games that cater to multiple learning styles, ensuring that all students, regardless of their preferred mode of learning, can engage meaningfully with the content. Incorporate collaborative games to encourage social learning and peer interaction. Emphasize games that promote critical thinking, problem-solving, and creativity over those that rely on memorization. Integrate educational games with other instructional methods, ensuring that they are part of a comprehensive learning strategy rather than standalone activities. Educational games are powerful tools for engaging students, enhancing learning, and creating a dynamic classroom environment. When used thoughtfully, they can transform how students approach learning, making it more enjoyable, meaningful, and effective. In conclusion, this audiobook has explored key focus points that highlight the importance of engaging teaching strategies and the role of active learning in language acquisition. From incorporating visual aids and storytelling to leveraging educational games, each method plays a critical role in fostering a dynamic and effective learning environment. Visual aids are essential in simplifying complex ideas, allowing learners to connect visuals with new vocabulary and grammar concepts. Storytelling, on the other hand, engages students emotionally, providing context and meaning that encourages deeper retention of language structures. Active listening and interactive activities enable students to sharpen their comprehension and speaking skills, while educational games transform the classroom into a vibrant space for exploration, collaboration, and creativity. The combination of these methods helps create a holistic and enriching learning experience that not only teaches language but fosters confidence, curiosity, and a love for learning. Recommendations: use visual aids to clarify and reinforce key concepts. Integrate storytelling to make language learning relatable and meaningful. Incorporate active listening techniques to sharpen students' comprehension. Engage students with interactive games to enhance critical thinking and collaboration. Ensure that all methods are interconnected and support a cohesive learning environment. Through these insights, we have seen how language teaching can be both creative and effective when we embrace a variety of methods. Remember, learning a language is a journey, and the more you listen, the better you speak. Listening is a critical part of developing your English skills, and we encourage you to continue this practice regularly. Thank you for your support and for being part of this journey with us. If you found this audiobook helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to Media Deem. Your continued engagement helps us create more valuable content. Stay tuned, keep listening, and always remember, the more you listen, the better you speak. Happy learning!